All right, so today we're diving into something that's been all over the news lately. Celebrity endorsements in elections. I mean, we've all seen the headlines about Oprah backing Kamala Harris for president. But does that actually make a difference to voters?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't
No,
it?
exactly.
Okay.
We're going to unpack all of that today. We know you guys are interested in U.S. elections, and we found this really interesting article in Al Jazeera about Oprah's latest political move. It's really got us thinking.
Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure.
It all starts with this really vivid scene, Oprah and Kamala Harris together at a fundraiser in Michigan. On the surface, you might think, okay, another celebrity campaign stop. But is it really that simple?
Well, there's definitely more to it than that. Endorsements, especially from someone as respected as Oprah, can be a powerful tool.
Oh.
It's like a signal boost, you know? It allows a candidate to show their values, to sort of borrow some credibility.
Borrow credibility.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe even sway some voters who are still undecided.
And the Al Jazeera article really emphasizes Oprah's influence, bringing up her endorsement of Obama back in 2008. They even go as far as to say that she might have won him 1 million extra votes. 1 million.
Now, obviously, it's not quite as simple as saying Oprah won him the election. There were a lot of factors at play back then. But you can't deny the sheer size of her audience.
That's true.
Especially among women and African-American voters. That kind of reach is huge for any campaign.
No doubt.
And I think what was really interesting about that endorsement was how it resonated with Oprah's core audience, you know?
You mean it wasn't just a case of, Oprah likes this guy, so you should too.
Exactly. Obama's whole hope and change message, it really connected with the things that Oprah's audience cared about. It's about tapping into that shared energy, that sense of shared values.
So it's not just about star power. It's about aligning your message with the right influencer and their audience. That makes sense. But Oprah hasn't always picked a winner, has she? The Al Jazeera article goes into that too, and her track record is.
Yeah.
Well, it's mixed. Yeah, you're right about that. It's not like her endorsement is some kind of guaranteed win. The Al Jazeera article actually breaks down all of her endorsements.
Yeah, they do.
And it's a real mixed bag of wins and losses.
Right. I mean, you've got Hillary Clinton in 2016, obviously. That didn't exactly go to plan.
Real.
And then there were those midterm candidates she backed in 2022. Quite a few of them didn't quite make it over the finish line.
So it's clearly not as simple as just picking the winner, right?
Right. It's about how that endorsement fits into the whole picture, you know? The candidate, their message, the people they're trying to reach.
It all has to click.
Exactly. Like we were saying before, Oprah's endorsements seem to work best when they line up with the values of her audience. And when the candidate also speaks to those values. You know what I mean? It's like building on something that's already there.
That shared connection.
Exactly. When it's done right, when there's that clear connection between what the candidate stands for and what Oprah's audience believes in, that's when an endorsement can really pack a punch.
But when it doesn't line up, when those values are different.
Well, that's when things can get a little messy. The endorsement can actually become a bit of a burden, you know?
How so?
Well, if there's a big disconnect between the candidate and Oprah's audience, the endorsement can actually backfire. It ends up highlighting the differences instead of bringing them together.
Instead of adding to the message, it almost detracts from it.
Exactly. The Al Jazeera article made a good point about this. It's all about balance, right? It's about the influencer's platform, the candidate's message, and then the values of the audience they're both trying to reach.
It's like a three-legged stool. It all has to work together.
Precisely. It's not just about star power. It's about strategic alignment. It's about knowing your audience, knowing what they care about, and finding an influencer who can bridge that gap.
It's about connecting those dots. And this is where I want to bring it back to you, the listener. Knowing all of this about Oprah, about her endorsements, and how they've played out, does it change how you view endorsements? Are you more likely to be swayed by a celebrity, or are you more inclined to look deeper now to see if the candidate's values align with your own? What do you think? It really makes you think twice, doesn't it? You can't just take an endorsement at face value anymore.
Exactly. And that's the point, right? The more we understand how these endorsements work, the less likely we are to just blindly follow someone else's lead.
We become more informed voters.
Precisely. So instead of seeing Oprah with a candidate and thinking, oh, well, she must be great, I'll vote for them, we can start asking the important questions.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, for starters, why is this person being endorsed? What do they stand for? Do their values line up with mine? Is this endorsement genuine, or is it,
More about image than substance.
Exactly. It's about looking beyond the celebrity and thinking for yourself. And, speaking of image versus substance, the Al Jazeera article actually brought up something pretty funny. Remember back in 2015 when Donald Trump joked about wanting Oprah as HES running mate?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It really goes to show you how unpredictable this whole world of endorsements can be.
Right. It just highlights how these dynamics can shift, how celebrity influence isn't always straightforward. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes than we often realize.
So much more than meets the eye. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something I can't stop thinking about. Given Oprah's huge influence, could she actually be a kingmaker in American politics? Could her endorsement be the thing that puts a candidate over the edge?
That's a really interesting question. I mean, she certainly has the platform, and she's got a very loyal following.
Right. It really makes you wonder what the future holds. Could we one day see Oprah not just endorsing a candidate, but running for office herself?
Now, that would be something else.
It sure would. Lots to ponder. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll keep exploring these fascinating topics, so make sure you join us next time as we delve into another thought-provoking issue. See you then.